So it's 2 a.m. We're in Pokrovsk, getting ready to meet soldiers from a drone unit of the 110th Battalion who gave us a meeting tonight. So it's very early, but we have to move fast because we're going to go to their positions. And basically we have to move during the night, not to be spotted by Russians, because we're going to get as close as it gets. All right, let's roll.
Military operations always involve hours of planning, detailed analysis of every step, and carrying out tasks under the toughest conditions. But when it comes to moving under the cover of darkness, the challenge reaches a whole new level. Night operations demand even more rigorous preparation, flawless coordination, and the highest level of skill. Yet, Ukrainian soldiers continue to prove that no darkness can hold them back. In this video, we'll show you several examples of how different Ukrainian units carry out combat missions at night, silent, precise, and unstoppable in their mission. If you want to see more frontline stories like this, subscribe to our channel so you never miss an update.
For safety reasons, the exact location will stay secret. We drive in the dark with dimmed headlights. It's way past curfew, and the only cars at this hour are military ones. After a few minutes, the lights of a massive military car blind us. We jump from our vehicle to meet Stary, Google, and Samurai from the 110th Mechanized Brigade. They're the unit's eyes in the sky. The greetings are brief, just a time to strap on some blue tape, take a quick drag on a cigarette, and we're on our way. The drone pilots have no time to waste. So right now we're heading to the car with the guys. We're gonna go right where the Russians are, so we're gonna have this to be fairly quick.
It's 100% dangerous. There are FPVs on this road, and artillery as well. In short, getting there is the most dangerous part.
After a long hour, the car suddenly turns and enters some field. There's a fire ahead of us. This is where we're going. The familiar silhouette of trenches scars the surrounding fields. Fortifications are in the way here. We're getting closer to the position. We're completely exposed, and the Russians can easily spot us with thermal cameras here. Yeah, so we just arrived in the position, so they're slowly getting ready. It was extremely quick, extremely efficient. We arrived in complete silence, a little bit of a tense atmosphere, of course, and with lights off, because, as I said before, Russians are not far. When we arrived, we saw a massive fire. Of course, we headed right in this direction. Stary is focused. He prepares the station with the impressive dexterity of someone who has done this 1,000 times before. The hideout is clean and Spartan. A few cans of energy drinks and some snacks, this is all they'll eat today. There won't be any trip out of the position to refill food reserves. We're stuck here until the next sunset. They're slowly preparing the material to work with the drones behind me, and this is where they're going to start, well, building up and hopefully hitting some targets tonight. Meanwhile, outside, Samurai prepares the FPVs in the dark. He straps an explosive charge to each of them. Problem, the zip ties don't fit, and the mines are not tight enough on the drones, meaning they risk falling on us on the first flight. Not great.
Це издевательство буде жорстке. Ну, я навіть з двох не можу лепити, бо вона не прилазить. Та нема ні. Це мусор все. Так. Так ніхто не взяв, їх не було. Вон, були на вулиці. Так от що тепер? Не скотч. Так дивись, вона навіть оцю ПГшку не прикручує. Що я тобі зроблю? Його не вистачає на дрони.
Every brigade has its own drone units to monitor the sky, and many of them are around.
The fuckers are roughly 1.6 kilometers in that direction. 7 to 8 to Ocheretine. But they're everywhere, trying to surround us.
Samurai, a 33-year-old former cop from Chernihiv, prepares roughly 30 mines. Ukraine constantly pushes the boundaries of technology to try and beat Russia's heavy war machine. Yet Russia has the resources to scale up the technology it steals from Ukrainians. Russian drone operators also copy the circular trajectory of Ukrainian drones to get closer to the soldiers' position.
When you hear a drone, how do you know if it's ours or theirs? We know where our guys are located, but they're sly too. They can come in from the side and make a circle. They'll make a circle and come in from there, so we'll think it's ours. They're very clever.
The duel starts at dawn. Russia's heavy artillery versus nimble Ukrainian drones. The sun rises on the flat steppe. In front of us, the Russians.
Напрямок найскладніший.
This is the most difficult direction. Unfortunately, all the weight has shifted away from it.
На інші, на Курську і
Everyone has moved to other areas like Kursk and other directions.
І
Now, there's not a lot of success, there's not a lot of people, and I don't know for how long we'll manage to hold positions in this direction.
What do Russians have? What kind of equipment do they have? Do they have a lot of resources? Do they have a lot of men?
на жаль, ресурсів у них дуже багато.
Unfortunately,
Якщо брати,
the Russians have a lot of resources.
то він зашитий в
Even if you take an infantryman, he's equipped with Kevlar.
БК більше в артилерії.
As for equipment, they have more ammunition for artillery and more vehicles,
Живого в них набагато більше, тому що
and they are pushing through 24/7.
вони йдуть цілодобово.
Russians are so confident that they sometimes try to attack positions with quads or even bikes. This day they're scouting for new directions to breach through the defense lines, Google says.
Як ми тільки приїхали на це направлення.
Yes, there was a lot of Russian equipment when we just got here, way more.
Дуже багато.
We destroyed it all.
Спалили.
Study and Google are from Kherson Oblast. They saw Russia's occupation firsthand. This war has turned the brothers into brothers in arms. It's a family business, much to the discontent of their mother, Study admits.
Складний момент був мамі сказати,
The hardest part was telling my mum.
тому що
That was the toughest thing,
достатньо довгий час.
because for quite a while, she didn't know where we were or what we were doing.
Він так потихеньку
We prepped her gradually, and that's when we told her,
Працювати легше.
it's easier to work together. You can always support each other.
Якби підбодрити, підтримати їх.
Як сказав,
As my grandmother said, are you a convict or something?
So it is 6:30 in the morning, it's now plain day, and the guys are already working. It seems like they've already hit an artillery gun, but we're waiting for confirmation for that. Google pilots a drone with an antenna to give more leeway to the FPV handled by Study. The protocol is always the same. A live stream shared by all drone units shows Russian positions. Once a target is locked, Samurai launches the drone with its lethal charge, and everybody runs into the bunker in case the Russians try to hit the position. Study and Google then take over, bringing the explosive drone to its target. Sometimes they miss, and sometimes they hit.
А що це, Урал чи що це? Що це стоїть?
Да, Урал формат. Урал формат.
Орнітолог, група ПГАЗ відпрацювали.
The FPV unit just managed to hit a Russian Ural truck. So first they hit the cabin, another group hit the back, and then the ammo in the truck exploded. Artillery is relentlessly pounding all around us. FPV pilots are Russian troops' favorite targets, Study says.
спочатку починає працювати міномет.
They start with mortars, then they open fire with artillery cannon to make sure you don't come out of your dugout. Then they start up the guns, a couple of tanks appear somewhere in the woods and start firing directly. After that, they hit you with Grad rockets, followed by an attack from a Su-25 throws a glide bomb on you. Because you're a priority target, sadly. Because we're causing a lot of damage to the fuckers.
Paranoia reigns here. Every buzzing sound could mean death from above, and even mosquitoes make them paranoid, they admit. A Zala drone flies above us. The soldiers tell us it's okay because there's enough foliage to protect us from prying eyes. Plus, Russian Zala drones don't have live streaming, which leaves some time for Ukrainian soldiers to hide. Yet, winter will be tough. When the positions are exposed, and every tire track is visible in the snow. The nightfall provides cover for the boys. It's time to get ready to leave. Still, they're slightly disappointed with today's results.
Сьогодні небагато.
There wasn't a lot today.
Сьогодні
Today we managed to hit a 2S-19 and an MSTAS. Unfortunately, it didn't have much effect. We damaged an Ural with its convoy, and then our colleague destroyed it along with its ammunition.
The sun is falling down and sounds of artillery are getting stronger and closer. It's about how time that we leave the position. Now we're gonna have to drive through the open field, and the sun is not completely down yet, and the Russians could still spot us. So we're gonna have to, as I repeat, be very careful and drive extremely fast. A few minutes drive from us, a position is burning. It could have been us. After a few hours of rest, the boys will be back tomorrow to hold the line. Because here in Donbass, war never sleeps.
Right, so far so good. We've shown you these drones already in training a couple of times, but today is actually the first time we've been able to get access to show you them in real war. We're here in a workshop, and as you can see, the drone behind me already doesn't look like in the training. It's been modified with plates. It looks used. It already looks ramped up, and that is because it drives, the guys say, almost every night to different positions, to mortar positions, to infantry positions, to wherever it is needed to bring food, to bring ammunition, to evacuate the wounded, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to load them up. We're going to bring them to the starting point, and then we're going to send them out into the night. The mission is going to take, the guy said, up to 5 hours. Depending on the conditions, depending if they encounter any problems, could be FPVs, could be mines. It's been raining crazy the past days. So we're going to see if all this hype that has been made about ground drones, if it actually lives up, how they actually work, how easy or how difficult it is to use them. I'm actually quite excited. So that's it. Let's get going. In May 24, Russia launched a second offensive on the city and oblast of Kharkiv after the initial liberation by Ukraine in 2022. The Kharkiv Brigade was one of those responsible for halting the Russian advance. At that time, we reported from the foremost infantry positions, but since then, the line of contact has barely moved. While that's good for Ukraine, it also means that in 1 year's time, the enemy has learned the topography well. The drone is called Targan. It's a Ukrainian production. At 10 kilometers per hour on off-roads, the battery lasts well over 6 hours. 2 drones are going off today, one to the farthest most infantry position, the zero line. The other is resupplying a mortar unit in a different sector. Right, the guys are loading up the drone. We are just outside of the zone where it starts to get really dangerous. As you can see, we're still in normal clothes, no armor, no medkit. If you go down that road in 3-4 kilometers, a bit less even, first Russian drones on the optic fiber cables will start flying. Then you'll have our guys standing there, artillery, mortar guys, infantry and everything else. Then already the Russians just down that road. But here, thanks to these robots, the guys can just in peace and calm and quiet load them up and then send the machine where none of us has to go. And about 4 or 5 hours, it will reach the guys. Коли він повністю заражений, це їжа і вода, скажімо, для скільки людей, для скільки времени?
Це дуже правильно.
That's a very good question. Depends on the size of the position. Our goal is to minimize the number of trips to each position. So, if we take an average size position with a set number of personnel, then one delivery can supply them with food and water for about a week to 10 days. Larger positions will obviously require more trips. In base configuration, 200 kilograms. With the trailer, half a ton. Again, there are always more tasks than capacity. So, often the unit will come back, reload, and head out again, as long as time, daylight, and range permit. It can do 2 to 3 missions per day to the same zone.
Alright, and now here it's all happening. It's the responsibility of these 2 guys, plus the so-called Sturman, so a third guy who helps the pilots in communication and solving questions and taking care of everything outside, because they have to be concentrated for hours. And when you look at the screens, you can see why you want to avoid a human being that. The guy on the left, the pilot, is going to infantry positions, the one on the right to mortar positions, and on the left screen, he's already in the red zone, as they call it, or in the shit. You can see on the road burnt vehicles. We saw another burnt robotic system, burnt armored vehicles, and then you understand how dangerous it is. It's the same reason why they only do this in the night, because even during the day, the chance that a robot like that will get hit is pretty high. There's no light on the robot. It's just a thermal vision camera and these two guys here in the basement. Kharkiv is one of the brigades at the forefront of this technological race. They were the first in the world to launch a successful, full-blown assault on a Russian position using only drones, both land and airborne in harmony.
It's the same path we went through with FPVs, with Mavics, with Vampires. In fact, every FPV pilot remembers the first time he got some airframe straight from the factory and had to do something with it just to make it fly. Right now, with UGVs, it's the same story. You can buy something nearly ready to use, but you'll still have to make a lot of upgrades, a lot of changes, before it can perform in combat. We're moving in a slightly different direction. We take a basic, solid, reliable, simple, and inexpensive platform, the Targan 3K, and on that basis, we build something that actually fulfills tasks on the battlefield. The upgrades are significant. If you saw what it looks like from the factory, and then what we turned it into, it's a huge difference. That allows us to increase payload capacity, extend its range, and most importantly, to have a control system that still works under electronic warfare conditions with poor communication. And the top priority is operator safety, because most basic models assume the operator has to be either inside the effective zone of the vehicle or close enough, even at long distances. Our task is to move the operator so far back that, figuratively speaking, he could be sitting in Cyprus and still safely control the machine. Mostly, we're on Madagascar when spoofing is active.
Did you choose this work by yourself, or were you assigned to it? And if you chose it by yourself, why?
I used to be an APC operator, a gunner.
Is it hard to learn, or is it easy?
Basically, you just need to get used to how it handles, the steering sharpness, and always watch the road and the signal, so you don't end up driving off into a ditch or somewhere else.
If he could do magic, what would he improve about these drones like tomorrow?
Honestly, it's already working very well, especially the communication. It turned out that we can control it remotely even from here. Before, we had to go out to infantry positions and work from there. Sometimes, we had to move together with the drone right up to the front lines, especially in bad weather, snow, fog, when we had to evacuate KIA or WIA.
Like, has he evacuated people?
Yes, I've already evacuated 2 wounded remotely. After assaults, I've evacuated 3 more. Also KIA.
Що тобі запам'яталось з цього найбільш важчий моральний момент?
At the time, there was so much adrenaline, I wasn't really paying attention to the emotions. The main thing was just to do the job. Get them out of there, to at least return them to their families.
All right, so we talked about something serious. What's the funniest he's ever seen on the screen? We saw about dogs and things like that.
Yeah, we've seen dogs, cats, even cows out there. We joked with the guys that we'd help them milk the cows and have them pay us in milk, or set up a payment terminal out there for deliveries. But really, there's something positive in everything. The main thing is to be able to see it.
The mission is a success. The robots come back intact and without loot. We drive out to load the last machine onto the pickup, and we realize the street is bustling with traffic. No humans, just robots, bringing weapons and soldiers into the dark night and back.
Finally, it's complete darkness outside, and Vitaly, our driver, takes us to the first position. Although we are under the cover of electronic warfare, still, this road in front of us, we are in danger of being targeted by artillery. So let's hope everything is gonna be fine.
In order not to drive in silence, Vitaly tells us what he sees through his night vision device.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you see the road? From 1 to 10, well, 7. I can see 50 meters ahead. The road and the bumps.
Finally, we arrive at our first destination. This is an aerial reconnaissance dugout. A long underground corridor where half of the people are asleep and the other half are drinking energy drinks and working. 2 pilots work in a carousel, meaning that as soon as one returns for a battery change, the other takes over. Without stopping observation for a second.
It is very important. We already know where our group is. If the shelling starts, we already know if they need help. Sometimes, when our groups are moving in the night, they can't see anything at all. So we tell them the direction and make sure they are safe.
Of course, this approach has its difficulties. I asked the guys when was the last time they were out of the position.
We are here all the time. We have day and night pilots. I also heard that there are some units that have rotations for 3 or 4 days. When we were asked, how long do you stay here? Guys, we don't have such a thing. But we are already used to it.
From one dugout to another, we visit a night bomber unit. Under the light of stars and their red flashlights, the operators are testing a vampire bomber. The horizon is illuminated by outgoing and incoming shells.
Vampires and bats. That's what we're flying so far.
They have just completed remote mining missions, but in general they are a versatile unit. The Vampire is a night drone, but this crew already flew out during the day to stop enemy assaults, scoring 4 killed enemies in just 1 flight.
They're storming, but not as much as in the beginning, not as hard. But every day they're attacking our infantry, shelling them, coming in like suicides in cars with one-way tickets towards our trenches. I don't know why they do it.
Our driver Vitaly is a member of the K2 mortar team, and we were supposed to visit his teammates, but the plans change. Another assault is expected at 6 AM, so we have to give the unit some time to prepare and leave a little early.
Unit Code 92 has mastered the art of drone warfare to perfection. In daytime, they work with Mavics, searching and eliminating enemy infantry. In the night, it's time for the Vampires to fly. The Vampire is a Ukrainian-made battle drone, with a capacity of carrying up to 15 kilograms and a flight distance of up to 10 kilometers. This drone has become a true nightmare for the Russians. They even came up with their own name for it, Baba Yaga, an evil witch from Slavic mythology.
Бачите? Все по дорожке прям.
It depends on the conditions, but usually it flies at 23 meters per second, which makes 100 kilometers per hour. Maximum speed is 120 kilometers per hour.
Tonight's mission is to destroy the enemy's fortifications, clearing the path for assault units to move forward.
Что-то неприятное летит.
Приходяки 2 штуки, ебать.
Ты увидел, да?
Despite constant shelling, the biggest danger for these men is intense Russian signal jamming, which, in the worst case, can lead to losing a drone.
We were close to losing a drone now. We know the most difficult areas, so we fly around them. Well, yeah, the areas where we already lost them.
For every target, the soldiers use a different type of explosive. Some are custom-made, others are good old anti-tank mines that have now found a new purpose.
There's an armored personnel carrier and a gazelle. It would be perfect to drop an ATM now.
Бігом, тікайте. Диви, не одна пікап.
Full power. Get the thermobaric and 2 fragmentation ones.
Code 9-2 are firm believers that drone warfare is the future. And this future has to happen now in terms of production, development, and countering Russian electronic warfare to save the lives of Ukrainian personnel and liberate what is rightfully ours.
This is a super effective tool. We used to chase tanks with RPGs, and now we work several kilometers from them. Safer for us and more efficient.
Коли ми повернули острів Зміїний, це не те, що було, коли виникла у нас ідея, це завдання, яке було отримано майже відразу. Та й ми всі в цілому розуміли відразу, що після захоплення острова Зміїний будуть відповідні вишки і будуть рейди на узбережжя Криму. У нас одночасно там різні підрозділи отримали завдання провести рейдові дії на відповідно різні вишки. Да. Тобто мені там досталось Петрогодованець, братству дісталось Севаш, другому загону достався МСТ-17.
У нас були штурми вишок, які зайняли ворог. Ось. А ми, група, та, яка знаходилась на наших вишках, нам треба було прикривати тили хлопцям.
В принципі, всі дійшли до своїх вишок, всі повідпрацьовували. Потім ми всі разом з'єдналися і ще додали там на Петрогодованець нормально понасипали.
У вас, я тебя давно не видел, могу не узнать, могу задавить, блин, цепом. Привет, привет, друг. Був на штабі, отримали задачу, почали планувати.
На той час майже весь спецпідрозділ Тимуру був задіяний в цих операціях. То ми всі разом збиралися на центральному штабі, планували, розподіляли ролі.
З плануванням закінчили, розбили людей, хто в які лодки.
Така була погода, не дуже приємна, чесно кажучи, для роботи. Шторм – це вітер, це хвилі достатньо високі, погана видимість. Це просто перебування в стихії та й все. Але це дуже захоплююче, це прикольно. Тому що ти відчуваєш силу, ти відчуваєш, наскільки ти маленький в порівнянні з тією силою, в якій ти знаходишся. Тоді, якщо не помиляюсь, було, здається, бортів 10 чи 12. Тобто дуже велика флотилія.
Спочатку ми прийшли на точку накопичення і чекали людей, які випливали з іншого місця. Ми десь годину чекали, там ото дрейфували по морю. Потім всі борти підійшли, вистріли в бойовий поряд.
І коли велика флотилія човнів, то реально важко. Ти розумієш, що ви дуже щільно один до одного знаходитесь. Плюс ти розумієш, що може бути з повітря якась атака зі сторони ворога, і ти маєш мати місце для маневру. І ти маєш слідкувати свій сектор, люди, хто справа, хто зліва.
Суматоха було, багато лодок, керувати було важко. Це було багато різних підрозділів, різних департаментів.
Я пропоную, давайте спочатку ми уйдемо їм за спину, тоді вони випливуть сюди, в ту. До того, як ми почали спрацювати зі стрілецькою зброєю, була зроблена атака з FPV-шок, була зроблена атака з беків, так званих магор. Була, здається, ще ракетна атака, зроблена на об'єкт вишки. І потім тоді ми почали наближатись і десь 1-2-1,5 почали вести вогонь зі стрілецької зброї з крупнокаліберки.
Якщо порівняти, це щось схоже на якийсь штурм великого будинку. Але щоб в тебе незручне становище, ти на морі, тебе шатає. У них краща позиція, вони на висоті.
Балістика нещадна. Так. У тебе є ці коливання. Навіть якщо ти чітко бачиш ціль, ти чітко можеш стріляти. Балістика нещадна.
Ми, виходить, робили накати на вишку. І паралельно ж, вже в той момент, ще на підході вже була сушка в небі. Тобто ми навіть не вистрілили з бойовий порядок, як нам прийшлося вже розходитися.
Я так думаю, що вони побачили велику флотилію і одразу цинканули, що типу тут дофіга катерів. І тоді тому і прилетіла сушка. Ну ти розумієш, що типу сушки, ну що, сушки та й сушки, окей. А потім ти починаєш чути. Ти в темряві, ти бачиш об'єкт здоровий, ти вже чуєш, коли вона підлітає, ти чуєш її гудіння моторів, ти чуєш, що вона трохи знижується і приторможує для того, щоб скинути касетку. Тобто ти все абсолютно чітко відчуваєш і бачиш.
І це тривало десь години-дві, у нас вже закінчилось БК, закінчилось топливо.
Да, тому що ми тоді виходили по таймінгу, ми достатньо довго вже були вражені по вишці. У нас було, здається, 2 чи 3 атаки від сушки на той період часу. Погода і така відстань, ми спалили дуже дофіга пального на катерах. Якби ми продовжували далі працювати, в нас не було б пального навіть не то, що на повну дорогу назад, на половину дороги назад.
Ми спробували один раз накат, сушка підійшла, ми відійшли, другий, третій, ну так раза 3 ми пробували. Потім поступила загальна команда підходити, і в цей момент якраз били сушку.
9.27 вспышка в воздухе с падением на море. Ну, 9.27 наблюдал вспышку в воздухе, которая переходит на морскую поверхность. 9.27, 0.3 отхожу.
Нашел деталь, похожую на законцовку самолета. Да, что-то, не знаю, антенна, может быть, конец крила.
Ти вже коли зробив маневр, з іншого борта пацани по ній ввели вогонь з ПЗРК, і ти бачив фактично, як в небі щось влучає в сушку, і вона там щось світиться, і щось там падає. Але знову ж таки, ти маєш дивитися вперед, тому що дуже багато човнів, ти маєш ні в кого не влупитись, тому окей, відбулося, супер. Ти змог відійти, супер. По тобі не влучило, люди цілі, супер. Все інше, ну, окей.
Ну, коли збили сушку, я отримав естетичне задоволення. Ну, я кайфанув, що ми в'їбали підарів на самольоті. До цього я таке ніколи не робив, що цей самоліт стоїть хуєву тучу денег. Ну і плюс же це теж морально, як на них вплинуло, що збили їхній самоліт. Потім пілоти теж не вилітали деякий час. А коли вилітали, то вони тільки в зоні там свого патрулювання літали, вони не вилітали в наш сектор.
Слід розуміти, що всі ці дії, які ми проводили, це і рейдові дії, висадки на узбережжя Криму і відповідно відпрацювання по противнику на вишках, це свого роду такий ляпас, можна так сказати, по їх честі і гідності. Відповідно, звичайно, противник, скажімо так, образився і вирішив у відповідь також, тобто з авіації, хашки, так звані, ракети запускали. Тобто це було нанесення неодноразово і по Україні, і по Зміїному відпрацювання були, і по Тавриді.
Ми знали, що на цю дату, скоріш за все, буде щось цікавіше, бо за 2 дні вони нам трішки промазали по нам.
Так, стояв на СПшці, якраз був прильот перед цією СПшкою, то може метрів 100 нормальний прильот, що волна піднялася вище вишки.
Коротше, виглядало це так. Тіп стоїть просто, у нього наряд, броня стоїть, все дивиться там. Я кажу, ну да, хтось, типу, нам сказали, що щось летить. Я їм сказав, обережно, але треба щось, типу, хтось ПЗРК. І оце він розповідає, що я дивлюсь, типу, летить, типу, 2 самольоти. Говорить. А потім розумієш, що це ракета.
На першому спустити, так? Ну, не впадає. Ну, не пробиває. У мене немає тут нікого.
Ми підготувалися. Тобто у нас було все план евакуації, ми розкидали воду, їжу по різним кінцям вишки. Ми чекали їхній штурм, тобто якісь їхні контрміри. Вони, я думаю, що щось до нас прилетить, а потім припливуть. Що, я дав наказ, що ми всі спускаємося в укриття, хлопці в укриття, всі взяли засоби, також ми там брали з собою противогази. Хвилин 10 ми чекали, вже спустилися внизу, такі всі сидимо. І потім, коли прилетіло, я прям... Я думав, що ми там на 360 розвернулися всі.
Да, в той момент ми, до речі, якраз і штурмували вишки, і коли їхню вишку обстрілювали, десь в сторону, прям прекрасно було видно заріво, піднімалось таке, півнебо освічувало.
Я перший вийшов подивитися, яка де безпечна зона, щоб зміститися, бо у нас зверху вже горіла криша, вже огонь. На нас спускався туди в підвал. Полум'я було скрізь і горіло, там всякі ж там же ще були боєприпаси, лежали ще російські, коротше. Півгодини і ми вже були готові, і я вже казав, що треба трішки, щоб хтось відпочив, тому що у підарів є час сюди, вони ж не так швидко з'являться, вони будуть плити.
В них зв'язку не було, в нас зв'язку не було. І катери, які підпливали, ви ж не розуміли тоді, да, що це наші?
Да, по-перше, вони не розуміли, чи ми живі. Вони не розуміли. У нас все було сплановано, зайняли свої рубежі і все, і тримали вишку.
Да, ще ж по ним прилетіло, в них кров гаряча. Вони дивляться, ще якісь катери припливають, неясно, наші, не наші катери. Вони, але якось, я не знаю, як скомунікували, і все-таки все пройшло доволі успішно.
Все на месте? Давайте проверим.
Я думал, ты уже все.
Я думал, вы все умерли на самом деле. Пока не увидел, что вы бегаете там в горі. Тобто це одна із операцій. І от подібних операцій їх було до десятка. Тобто ми все минуле літо кошмарили противника активно, постійно, не давали їм розслаблятись.
Ты просто сидишь в железном ящике, хохлы подплывают на катере, запускают 30 дронов, 30 дронов, нахуй, и хуярят тебя, нахуй, ФВПшками этими ебаными, блядь. Охуенно же, да?
Paso firme recorro en el filo de la vida entre el bien y entre el mal. Los caminos nos llevan distinto y yo sé que ya no volverá.
So we're just out here taking our last sip of tea before another sleepless night in Kursk region with one of the most effective drone units in the Ukrainian army, the Kod 9-2. One of the goals of the Kursk operation is to divert enemy forces from eastern Ukraine. According to the latest data, Russia has indeed amassed a large grouping here, adding North Korean fighters. At the same time, Ukraine is critically short on personnel to stop the Russian advance in the east. That's where units like this one, Vampire Crew, come into play. Just 4 people, a driver, pilot, and 2 engineers capable of completing dozens of missions in one night with very high efficiency.
Освобождаю прокропы, расставляю лучи. Сейчас будем ставить батареи и прошивать пульт. Нажался. Да.
We'll be targeting armored vehicles. There's already one damaged target and another intact. We need to make sure it burns.
So as always, it took a while to find the right position, and the decision was made to make a base right here, which is kind of uncomfortable for me to stay like this under the clear sky. But we are being told that it is fine, and the distance is far enough for us to work like this during the night. On the other hand, we get to see all the illumination from the shelling around us. The heavy bomber technology actually originated in agriculture, where hexacopters and octocopters were used for crop spraying. It might not be a coincidence that Vampire's pilot was a farmer in civilian life. It took him a year to become an ace. Now he has dozens of destroyed enemy units to his name, including MLRS systems and even a moving tank.
We're flying towards the tank. It's stationary, confirmed by reconnaissance drone. Once the vehicles are damaged during the assaults, FPV drones finish it off. If they don't destroy it completely, we take care of it at night. FPV drones can blow off wheels on wheeled vehicles or knock out tracks on tanks. The enemy might repair them, but our goal is to ensure they can't use them again.
You've probably seen such kind of drones multiple hundreds of times in different reports, but we're still filming them because their work is literally essential for the armed forces of Ukraine. Actually, no country at all has such kind of a fleet of heavy bombers in their army, so obviously it's not. So as I was saying before, obviously it's not as easy to work like it was in 2022 and even 2023, but still when such a unit enters the certain area of the front line, it brings lots of pain for the enemy.
We located a tank position. Recon confirmed it's stationary and operational.
Як далеко він від нас?
It's 16 kilometers away from us. Getting under fire is a routine situation. We don't even notice it anymore. At our previous position, we were just 2 kilometers from the zero line. Combat operations were ongoing, and our support was crucial for the infantry. We also delivered supplies and other cargo to positions. Every night. They get shot down, big targets. If a bullet hits the battery, it catches fire, and that's it.
Despite losing drones, each one usually pays off. During the shift, 2 tanks were burned down. But the most important thing is that Russia still has no effective countermeasure, and their bomber capabilities lag behind Ukraine's.
So the crew made approximately 10 missions in a time span of a couple of hours today, which is quite impressive. But I must say, this ain't easy. We're super exhausted and extremely cold. We're going back home to Simo.
Tonight we are working in the north of Ukraine. This is a direction where Russian Shaheeds enter in Ukrainian airspace, and we are working with the air defense unit. The guys are testing a new system that can be best described as the old school meets new technology.
Meet Sky Sentinel. For now, it's a prototype that will soon be integrated into the Ukrainian air defense system. It is an AI-powered turret equipped with a heavy machine gun and capable of 360 degrees rotation. Its primary targets are Shahed drones, but it also can destroy objects twice smaller in size, as well as cruise missiles. 10 to 30 such turrets will be able to cover a city, and fewer can protect objects such as electricity and heat plants, factories, and so on. Given Russia's daily air raids, having systems like this is crucial for civilian safety. How active is everything flying around here now?
Right now,
For the past month?
it's gotten more intense. In general, there's been a lot more of them in recent months. I remember in 2022, 2023, it was still very different back then.
We didn't have to wait for too long to hear, at least hear the first Shahed drones. We hear one buzzing just right over there. And I don't know how high it is, but probably if it's within our range, we might be able to shoot it down, so let's see.
First, I had to track the target until it's within my range. And then I lock it. To open fire, these two tumblers must be switched on. And that's it. I'll wait for the target to approach, and then the turret computer itself takes into account the height and other data already calculated by the rangefinder. Then, when everything is calculated, I will see a sign indicating that the fire is authorized, and then it starts shooting.
For now, the operator has to track the target. However, the new version will be able to do it automatically and remotely, making the personnel job easier. Each such turret costs $150,000, making a cost-efficient tool in the fight against Russian drones.
We're here with the 35th Marine Brigade, and we're going to be going out with them tonight on one of their air defense patrols. The sun's about to set, and that's the time when these guys jump into action.
I first met the 35th Marine Brigade in Kherson last October. No camera, just an iPhone and a notepad.
We've just fired up at a drone, and now they're telling us that we need to move out of this area because Russian drones could find our position here.
While we hunted Shahed drones, Russian FPV drones hunted civilians just miles away. Part of what has chillingly been called a human safari. Now, the brigade's been moved to Pokrovsk, a city nearly surrounded. Most of these men have fought since the start of the full-scale invasion as infantry. Their new roles in air defense are a welcome break from the trenches, but it's no easy post. They work from sunset to sunrise, always on, always alert, always watching. We arrive. Spring rains made the fields too soft for the heavy drone hunter. Units like this span Ukraine, forming a vast, silent network. I ask how many, but they can't answer. But they do tell me that one gun covers around 2 kilometers.
Now, the gun they're using is a Browning machine gun. It was created by legendary American arms designer John Moses Browning. First started in World War I, but was used widely through World War II, the Korean War, and even now today here in Ukraine. It's known for its simplicity, but also for its durability.
A machine gun mounted to a truck. It might look basic, but it's part of Ukraine's low-cost, highly effective answer to modern warfare. In February, Russia launched nearly 4,000 drones, with hundreds entering Ukraine's airspace each night and air defense missiles like Patriots costing over $4 million a pop.
That approach just isn't sustainable. So Ukraine adapted, turning to low-cost, highly effective solutions like this one.
The hardest part about this job is the anticipation and the waiting. The expectation of the Shahed. But if everything goes well and we shoot it down, then все добре. After 12, until sunrise, that's the busiest time. Also in the early morning.
Night falls, and we wait. Around midnight, a drone enters our airspace. So it's a clear night. We've been waiting for a few hours, and we just got word that there's a Shahed circling somewhere around where we are. He just said to us, if we're quiet enough, we can actually hear it overhead. When he lets this thing go, it's a 12.7 caliber, and it's just gonna fire in succession up at this drone. You'll see the beam of the searchlight looking up towards it, and they're just gonna keep firing until they get it out of the sky. As the drone approaches, another unit reveals itself out of the darkness nearby. So the drone came close, we saw another unit shooting at it in the distance, but now it's veered off into a different direction. But watching these guys work, it's like watching a lion searching for its prey. Everything goes silent, they become laser focused, staring up at the sky. Every little minutia, every little sound, you can tell these guys are absolutely, completely keyed in. To track the skies, troops use software which is uploaded onto a $150 Android tablet. Nothing flies without them knowing.
This software is very useful because we can see where the target is coming from and we can prepare. We can send information to the rest of the brigade, and we can send and receive data points that help us determine the height, speed, and strength needed to shoot down the target. In Kherson, for example, there were a lot of drones, 30 or 40 per night. We would even work during the day because there were so many. In Kherson, we once shot 2,000 rounds in 2 weeks.
Is there some competition between the different drone hunting units about catching one? If, say, one slips through you, it goes to the next guy, next group?
Yes, especially in Kherson. Since March, we also worked with infantry, covering the battalion, and already we're starting to do that again.
How does it feel when you shoot one down?
When you shoot one down, you feel joyful because it won't cause harm to civilian populations or infrastructure.
And when was the last time you got a good night's sleep?
I don't know. A long time ago.
So it's just about 4 in the morning and the guys are closing up the gun. Unfortunately, we didn't have any of the Shaheds come within range. This gun can shoot around 2 kilometers, but there were over 40 Shahed drones in this general direction, and we did see other units shooting at them in the distance. So we're happy we got to see the gun, we got to see how it works. It's been really interesting because when you hear the sirens, this is what's going on in the background. While people are running to shelters, these are the guys who are running into position. So since we left the polygon this afternoon, we've been on standby to see if we could come out with these guys tonight. And we just got the word that in fact we can. So we're here, we're suited up, we're getting loaded up, and we're gonna go out with them to their position. Not gonna lie, it's my first time doing something like this, my first time going to the front, and I was definitely quite quiet on the way out here. Sweaty palms, feeling a bit anxious, but I feel pretty safe being with the 25th Brigade, so let's see how it goes. So we've just been driving about what feels like 150 miles an hour, and we just came to a complete stop because we got word that there's a reconnaissance drone above the position that we're headed to. And even just sitting here, you can see flashes and big bangs in the distance. They're pretty much shelling all around where we're going to be headed to. We get the green light and are back on the road. We arrive at an abandoned house in an all but abandoned village on the outskirts of Pokrovsk, where for months, Russian and Ukrainian troops have been battling in what has become one of the war's fiercest battles. That was a fun car ride.
Yeah. When we're outside, if I say Mavic or FPV, just get back in here as quick as you can. Turn the lights off and just get back in. Okay, just to try and keep the position secure.
Sure. Okay, so we made it to the position. They've got a Vampire drone here behind us. They're gonna send up in the sky right about now. It was a hell of a ride here, and you can just hear in the distance non-stop artillery and the whizzing of drones. They tell us it's friendly drones, but I certainly hope that they're right. Vampire units operate in teams of 3, 1 drone pilot and 2 engineers. Kim from the US is the pilot. Mac from the UK and Ilya from Ukraine handle the engineering. Together, they prepare the drone, arming it with 2 bombs destined for Russian positions.
Can you see my big pliers in there? There. Thank you. Actually want it to hit the target. Kim's gonna hate me. He doesn't like it when the cone's on the front of him.
Well. So we're sending it out from here, and where are we sending this to? What's our target?
So as far as I'm aware, is it a blindage we're hitting, Krim?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're hitting a blindage in a trench line.
A blindage is?
Dugout. So that's a dugout, yeah. So it'll have a wooden, sort of like covered in wood and dirt.
And is there any fear that by sending this out, you're going to give away where we are?
Well, there's always the risk with that.
A few weeks before, a Russian surveillance drone picked up Mac and his team while launching a Vampire drone. The footage was posted on social media soon after their position was targeted. They were lucky to make it out alive. Around midnight, the drone is finally ready. Mac and Ilya bring the Vampire outside to launch.
Okay. Right, I'm just going to pull the safeties now, so it's best to go back by the door there.
So you can hear the Vampire taking off now. It's going to go about 25 meters in the sky. It's going to shoot east. This thing can carry a payload of about 16 kilograms, can travel about 25 meters per second, so it's freaking fast and freaking tough. There it goes. In the next room, Kim navigates towards the target.
Just drop it on the coordinates. I think that's it. You see that glowing spot there? Yeah. That's probably it. Right. Okay, drop more just to check the wind. Yeah. If I can see it.
Yeah, when?
Slightly to the left, I think.
Yeah, slightly to the left.
Stabilizing.
Mm-hmm.
Drop.
Архангел, це Крим, відпрацювали. Йдемо назад.
You've been with the 25th for pretty much...
About a year now. I was with Hospitalis for a year before that.
I saw a picture earlier, and I wanted to ask you about it. What is that?
So that's the picture is what we have in the workshop of a lot of people in the platoon that we've lost. It's There's not that many for how many years of war that we've been at, but it is unfortunate.
And I feel like last time we were here, I think was this one of the guys that was there. Was he here last time?
Yeah, he was here last time. He was Baker. His death was pretty widely publicized. A lot of Polish media covered it. He's a pretty good friend of mine, and yeah, I miss him.
Yeah, I remember him. He was quite new there to the 25th at the time.
Well, he was in the first batch that went to basic, the first batch of foreigners that went to basic with me and a couple others.
Yeah. What do you do to deal with that? I mean, I know Lewis, before he left, kind of felt like, I noticed the way he was talking was that he wanted, like, more and more, he felt like friends of his had gone, and he was feeling more and more compelled to come and be an operator. And then he eventually left, but I think it got to him, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, I lost friends before when I was a medic, so I kind of went with the same thing, but at the same time, you know, he was a little different. A lot of the guys come here, they're a specific type, but Baker was a lot younger, so it was a bit different with him.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready. Okay.
Baker and his fellow drone engineer were killed as they prepared a Vampire drone for launch. An explosion tore through the roof of their safe house. It happened in the same village where we are tonight. Baker was just 19 years old. After making the drop, the Vampire drone returns to be armed again. So they call it the Baba Yaga drone because it's like the Russians call it that because it's like a witch that comes in the night and grabs soldiers from the front line. And you can understand why, because it sounds freaking scary coming back in. We heard it from a couple of kilometers even before it got here. And you can hear it now, it's landing. As the night goes on, Russian glide bombs begin landing near our position. Our extraction is delayed. Every minute we wait feels like one more chance for something to go wrong. It's just a cat in the bushes. Obviously, I'm a bit on edge.
Yep.
Somebody get her out of here. Total noob. At 6 in the morning, finally our ride comes. All right, we just finished our night with the guys. We shot off, we did 3 drops, and it's not over yet. We've got one more drive back home, but fingers crossed, it's a wrap. What we saw tonight with the 25th Brigade is rare. It isn't the Foreign Legion, but something different. International volunteers fully integrated into Ukrainian units, a testament to how individuals from around the world have answered a call and put everything on the line to protect and defend.
Sometimes even a regular filming trip turns into a mission of its own.
Як тебе звати? Метод. Метод, вибач. Що, зараз будемо виїжджати на позицію?
Так, будемо їхати. Швиденько, спокійна дорога, надіюсь, буде. А там далі на місці вже побачимо.
A quiet road to Pokrovsk. There is no such thing. The car has a net, the road has a net, the soldiers have an electronic warfare system, but still no guarantees.
And you need to be so quick, only because you can be chased by FPV anytime here. It's the biggest problem in Pokrovsk right now. But looks like our driver also wrote better than any other person on the planet Earth.
Оце вже погано.
Стали?
Так.
Виходимо?
Виходимо.
In the dark, we think we have popped only one tire. Later, we will find out it's 3. But one thing is clear. Out here, we are sitting ducks. Somewhere above us, in the pitch black, the first drone is circling. We spread out. Everyone hiding for himself.
I hear drone.
Fuck, I fell. Couple of times.
Fuck. It's drone. It's Russian FPV just near us.
Now, I need to find the guys. First, I find the driver. Then, Mikita, our photographer. Then Method and the press officer.
А де ви? Забираємо шмотки?
Да.
Now we had a chance to take all the stuff, to take all our clothes and to get to the position by walk. It's another 1.5 kilometer off-road. Далеко був прильот від нас у цей FPV?
Ну, я вспишки не бачив, чув тільки звук, мені здається, то лі ребом, то лі вона сигнал потеряла, десь далі в'їбала. Правда, знаю тільки підор, який сидів за цим дроном, але це достатньо. Для FPV це далеко. Це метрів 30-40.
30-40?
Да.
There is in the end. We see the light. It's our guy. Добрий вечір.
Я поняв. То пиздуємо назад. Несіть зразу куди, тут не залишайте, нема сенсу.
Група дійшла до Києва.
Ти радий бути тут?
Та, звісно, так. Да. Майже як другий дім.
Я теж.
We settle in. Everyone is alright. But the driver is still shaken up.
Потому что быстро я не смогу поехать.
For him, the story is not over.
Yeah.
The car is full of ammunition. 10 minutes later, he and the commander go back out into the dark night. The men change tires, and even though they're almost hit,
Фішка. Туши фонарика, туши, вон, летить.
they make it. And the base, we get some rest. The next morning, it's out into the streets of Pokrovsk.
We've entered Pokrovsk the night before with a unit from the 68th Jaeger Brigade manning an SPG, a Soviet-made recoilless gun. Their position is a basement in some abandoned building close to the city between 1.5 and 2 kilometers to the Russians. We're as near to the enemy's positions as possible to hit them without endangering the team. The crew is constantly on alert for drone sounds as artillery blasts get closer. The unit's SPG, hidden not far from the cellar, is designed to destroy tanks, self-propelled artillery and other light armored vehicles up to 6 kilometers with 73mm projectiles. They're not precisely mortars, but the same kind of crew is manning them. Nimitz, the unit's commander, checks some coordinates, draws to pass the time, and sets up his removable deep compass, a crucial part to aim correctly.
Without it, the gun won't shoot. We adjust it like that. It must be attached to the weapon itself, and is specially calibrated to work in sync with it. A good hit can cause more damage than an FPV. It's pretty convenient. Load it, aim it on command, that's it. I think the Russians really fear a skilled gunner who knows how to work with this weapon. There are no feelings, no pity, nothing like that. I wish them the worst of the worst. The worst things that can be wished to someone who has attacked or invaded our land, our territory. We're at home. I have no pity, nothing.
So, this is right now the further, and we'll go before orders to go out, because as you can see, it's very bright outside. And I'm not sure if you hear that, but yeah, there's a lot going on outside.
Night has fallen. We hide near an abandoned building waiting for the car to pick us up. And behind another building. While we wait, a buzzing sound approaches. It's a drone and not Ukrainian. It stands over us for seconds that feel like an eternity. Bombs keep falling around. By the sound of it, grads and cabs, a few in a row. When the car arrives, it is time to run again and jump in. We drive off. We're not safe yet, but we are far from the danger faced by the guys who will have to spend another 2 days in this freezing cellar to try and keep the Russians at bay.
I'll see you on the other side, my friend. So today is the first time in my life that I travel to work with my eyes closed, and the reason, hello Commander, the reason he will tell us.
Today, we'll show you something very special. Our magnificent Lyuti UAVs that are deep striking Russian soil.
So, as the commander says, these are long-range deep strike drones produced here in Ukraine, used by the 14th Polk, Deep Strike Polk, to attack targets deep inside the Russian Federation. Today we've been granted exclusive access with the unit. They will tell us all about these drones, how they use them, and then hopefully we will see them in action. Enjoy our report. The Lyuti Deep Strike UAV, Ukrainian production, range 1,000 plus kilometers, speed 250 to 300 kilometers per hour. Payload between 50 and 75 kilograms. Guided by an artificial intelligence system, cost around $200,000 US. Why is deep striking into Russian territory so important?
We understand that we're facing a mighty opponent. Russia has lots and lots of missiles and drones. We have to strike asymmetrically so that the enemy does not just hit our soil unpunished. That if we hit a key logistic hub, for example, or burn down an ammo storage, our guys at the front line will fare much better. They won't get the same amount of guided aerial bombs, missiles, etc. dropped on them anymore. The enemy won't be able to refuel as efficiently as before. It will affect the battlefield.
Then it's time to head out. Preparation, launching location, all top secret. We're only allowed to turn the camera back on when everything is set up on the runway. All right, now we're on the field, not in the hangar. The drones have their wings on. They're quite big. As you can see, also quite tall. I'm about 6 foot. This is just to give you an idea about the size. They're also quite wide, and it's quite cold. You can see the frost covering the wings. Exciting. I don't know how many drones they have lined up here. I didn't count. I think it's like 15, and they will launch them one after the next, of course as fast as possible for safety reasons. And they say the whole thing takes about 40 minutes to an hour if all the conditions are fulfilled. If there's an air alarm and we have to turn on electronic warfare systems, or our air defense starts working, then obviously they can't do it, because then Ukraine would shoot down its own drones, which is obviously something they're trying to avoid. So let's see how this night goes. The guys who met us here are not unfriendly, it's the wrong word, but you can feel there's a bit of tension in the air, and it's super understandable. I would also be stressed if someone's coming to film at me. Why? Because this is a super sensitive operation. I mean, this is a super high value target for the Russians. It's a huge problem for them, these drones and these deep strikes. It costs them a lot of money, and we have to work as clean as possible also, because if we show something we're not supposed to show, or some frame that shouldn't be in there, in the end there will be a price to pay, and someone's head will roll, probably mine or yours, Yegor, with the camera. So yeah, it's also a day to be concentrated at work. It's not actually funny at all. So we'll do our best.
While the men make the last adjustments, Kasper takes care of public relations.
It's quite common in Ukraine before these missions to say a couple of words, to dedicate them and to cause awareness like that. In this case,
I wish you strong health. Mr. President, allow me to report. Today, we're grinding the Russian territory to dust. We will be destroying their storage facilities and military infrastructure to help our boys on the front lines. Honor, we have. The 14th Separate Regiment is operational.
And I will do the official signing. This cooperation, it is from the 14th Polk and United 24 Media. With love.
Of course.
Always, only love.
Це наш слоган.
Well, good luck today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Finally, it's time for takeoff. The start is manual. Once it's in the air, the drone switches to autopilot. Then, the men can only wait and hope. In a couple of hours, it will have reached its target.
So as we said before, the guys drive behind the drone and then they launch it manually with the controller because it's more efficient that way. But it's also, while at the same time it's kind of futuristic warfare, it's pretty rough and old school because it's just a civilian car, an automobile, and they drive at high speeds behind this drone, which is carrying 50 kilograms of explosive, and that's it's a pretty risky thing to do. You can see when it starts to move, it's super sensitive to any change in the ground. It really wobbles and goes back and forth.
I'll say it like this. It gives you immense pleasure to witness a team of professionals at work. Our boys are simply the best. The 14th Separate Regiment is ready to fuck the bastards up.
So the guys are like a Swiss watch. They're pretty mechanical and pretty fast. They're launching drone after drone. But I don't know if it's audible in the microphone. But the air raid siren just went on. So the commander has to check all the time with the guys if something is flying, if there's a rocket heading our way. And if that's the case, then we have about a minute, they said, to just go somewhere to safety. So that's the kind of tricky thing. The launch, they're quite used to it. You can see it's a routine thing. They do one after the next, but you always have to make sure the sky is clear, because we shoot there, but they shoot back. But everything will be fine, of course.
With all drones launched, we head back and meet with Clover. He is an analyst and is responsible for selecting targets and also evaluating missions. They scour the internet for any useful information.
What happens after the drone flies off to the horizon?
First and foremost, we hope and pray for the best. Then we begin collecting OSINT, open source intelligence. Our work is to prepare for the mission and dig up intel where needed. So, we start monitoring key Telegram groups that are comprised of people and/or places that are located either directly at our point of interest or along the flight path of our UAV. That's how we know whether we struck gold after sifting through the intel. We see what the people are talking about there. For example, if there was an explosion in the area or loud noises were reported, we understand that it's Russian air defense, and we mark its approximate location on our map, which then allows us to get a grasp on the amount of forces in our POI. That way, we can also understand how far or at what point our mission is at. We also use other tools. These are so-called OSINT tools, satellite data that could show us, for example, a temperature anomaly. If we see such an abnormality in our target area, then it usually means we've successfully hit the point of interest and something is burning.
Russia tries its best to cover up any successful Ukrainian hits, but Clover and his men have some tricks up their sleeve.
Our software records everything that was posted on the net, and even the messages that were later deleted. We'll capture every bit of intel possible. If someone said it, we already heard it and stored it.
What are the main types of target that you guys focus on?
It's of utmost importance to take away the enemy's ability to make money. That's why oil is a priority target for us. Next in line are the airfields and ammo caches. You could say that last year we had a very good harvest of the enemy's airfields. The most recent one was in Engels. Then it was the one in Morozovsk, where we damaged some aircraft as well, including Su fighter jets. You could say we're proud of hitting the 67th Russian MOD missile arsenal. The explosion was gigantic.
Drone attacks into Russian territory are deeply affecting the economy. While there are no absolute figures, the news agency Reuters estimates that Ukrainian attacks knocked out 10% of Russia's oil refining capacity in 2025 alone. The work of Kasper, Clover, and all the others at the 14th Deep Strike Regiment gives Ukraine a vital answer when faced with the question of how to defend against a much larger enemy. Precise, selected strikes into the heart of Russia's war machine.
What recommendations do you have in general to people in the way they use the internet?
Delete your social media.
As you can see, night missions require exceptional focus, coordination, and resilience. Modern technologies and weapons help make these operations even more effective, but the human factor remains absolutely crucial. Time and again, Ukrainian soldiers prove their world-class skill even in the harshest and most challenging conditions. If you'd like to keep following their courage and determination, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss the latest updates from the front lines.